welcome to Psychic Holistic Spotlight. I'm your host, Josie Way, and co-hosting with me are Ken Demers and Kathy Costa. Our guest is a new friend to our shores. She's been here for about a year. Her name is Susan Hendrix. You met her friend, Crystal Burke, a few weeks back. And I have a friend, Bonnie, who you've seen on the show. And she said, you've got to have them on your show. So I always listen. And I understand you do healing work. Mm-hmm. You do shamanic healing work. You work with a, is it Primacare?
Care New England.
Care New England, mm-hmm. Okay.
Say that again.
Care New England.
She works with who?
Care New England.
Care New England.
Care New England.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes.
And you studied your shamanic in South America?
No, I studied through the heritage of the lineage of the Caro.
I can't hear them.
Exactly. And through Melikalani and many others that are just so incredible. They spend a lot of time. I've tried to make my way to Peru many times, and with the last few years, the borders, it became a little challenging. Yes. But things are opening up, and at least in that part of the world, and I would really like to go. But I've had such amazing tutelage and support through many, many really incredible healers. So I've been very fortunate to have spent time with them and to have been trained as a kind of an apprentice through them.
Now, the Kyo, is that a tribe in South America?
It is. It's
okay.
They're of the high mountain region.
Okay.
And they are what's considered the most sacred and indigenous.
Is that the Andes?
Yes,
okay.
Exactly.
What
exactly.
country?
Peru.
Oh, Peru.
Peru. Mm-hmm.
The llamas and the Afghans. That's how I think of countries.
Yes.
What lives there.
Exactly. And there's many indigenous, like all over the world, Amazon, that brings such amazing healing. And they do have just a very common bond in terms of loving the earth and bringing all of the goodness. And each one has their own 4 directions, right? They each represent the north, south, east, west, the Pachamama, and then
the above.
Exactly, and then the above, right? Honoring all that is here and beyond.
Now, did you ever receive the Munaki rates?
Yes.
You did. I am too. I have too. So I teach that as well.
Wonderful. Yeah. That's very, very powerful.
Yeah,
and that's a gift through the Caro.
Yes, it is. That's what I was
Alberto Viodo and his wife, exactly.
Yeah.
And in fact, I gave the 13th rite, which is the Munaki rite, the rite of the womb.
The rite of, yeah.
And I did that a few days ago, actually, to
was
a
that the
group
first
of
time?
about no,
Oh,
but
wow,
I did it to a group of probably, how many, 14 women?
Wow.
And it's so powerful.
Yeah.
It is so powerful.
Translate that to English so us that don't know what that is.
Sure. Muna means love, and Ki means
energy.
Energy, exactly. And there are 10 rites, including that one. So there are rites, the seer's rite, all the way up. There's different initiations that you go through. And you can probably say more.
Yeah.
But the 13th is one that I have offered the most. In fact, I offered it to Bonnie. And that was in the very beginning of our friendship. And she felt and it's not me, it's the power of the rite itself. And it's called the 13th rite because, even though it's formally the 10th, because it represents the womb of the female. And it represents the 13 moon cycles.
Which is the feminine energy.
Exactly, feminine energy. But even though it is something for the womb of the woman, whether you have a womb or not, there's holding that space of creation. It also is something that men can be womb keepers, which is supporting the women of the healing journey, right? And the Kero talk about the rite of the womb, the 13th rite, as when all of the women's healing happens within the womb, the waters of the world will be healed. Exactly.
Yes, I've heard that. I didn't know where it came from.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The waters of the world will be healed?
Yes, when the waters of the womb, which is the womb of creation, will be, when they are healed,
Okay,
releasing.
so they're not talking about pollution in the oceans and stuff?
It's energetically healed, right?
Okay.
It is honestly from pollution, but it's the damage and the carelessness and the abuse.
The
in general.
toxicity.
Exactly. It's from the abuse, because the womb is not a place to store fear or pain. Is really at the foundation of this. And
Unconditional love.
exactly. That this is not, the place of creation is not where we store these fears and all this anguish and persecution, all these things. We clear that, and then we clear the waters.
Now, what happens if somebody is storing all that negativity in the womb and they get pregnant? Does that affect the baby?
Energetically, absolutely. And the rite of the womb can also be done with a child in
Being
vitro.
carried, yeah.
So traditionally in these locations, if somebody's going to get pregnant or is the beginning stages of being pregnant, they would go through this ritual to make sure that they have a...
They should.
Yeah, if they want to, yes.
Yeah, it's very powerful.
So it's not something that they all do.
No, it's not something, but it's given freely to the world. And the more people like yourself that offer it, the more people are exposed to it, the more healing. And you think about lineage, right? And ancestry carrying on the burdens of the past. It's no different. And this is a very, very powerful place, especially within a woman, to store this, this trauma, if you will. And the more you can clear that energy away, the better that everything will, the wellspring again will come.
How do you, simplified, how do you go about clearing the energy away?
You call in the rite, right? I would call in the rite. I would ask for the support for that rite. And then I would say the rite to myself. And then I would share the rite to the other. And then I hold their space. And then they would own that. They would bring it in and they would repeat the rite to themselves, owning that rite. Like it's this beautiful flow of energy through that rite.
So you're asking for a particular vibration of energy to come in through you?
Beautiful, yes.
Okay.
Yes. And this was the rite was given to Marcelo in the Amazon, actually, because the indigenous there had survived so many things, and they made it beyond that place to healing. And so this rite came out of that place, energetically.
How old is it?
Not that old.
No, I think it was 2006.
I was going to say about 10, yeah.
It's still
15
very,
years.
very new. So
It's
definitely
very
within the
new.
century.
Why do I have a hard time believing that's only 10 years old?
Well, the original energy
Yes.
is different. The original energy is still it's different, though. The original energy is from the indigenous tribes.
That's
So-
what I was talking about.
Yeah.
That's what I
Exactly.
thought the whole thing was.
So-
But it was gifted to, if you will, a modern woman, right? It's someone outside of
It's
there.
something that's
To
been
share.
transformed
Exactly.
enough that our society can get an understanding of
Can
how
accept it, yes,
works.
as it is. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. And that was what Alberto did with the 9 other rites. And they said, it's time to spread this. They guarded them like a treasure, and it's time to spread them out to the world. And they gave him that key to then share. And I'm just getting chills. They gave him the key to share. And
Yeah, with the
it is
creator, right? Yeah.
exactly. And it is so important that it is not charged. Maybe you might, if somebody's going to learn it and they're going through coursework, maybe they learn that. But you never charge for this rite. If I'm going to give it to you, I do not charge you ever. It is a rite of passage of this energy and this healing. And it just, the more it spreads around the world, the better, honestly.
Now, is this something, if you've experienced it, that you can continue to experience it? To continue to heal yourself?
You can do it as often as you'd like.
Yeah, and a lot of my students that received the rites, though, either the original 9 or the 13th, or even both, you do get that with the next few weeks. So usually the 2 to 3 weeks is what I find with my students. You do get that you do feel that change, of there being like receiving the initiations of that, of these rites.
It's and
It's
you
very
never know in the ways that it's going to come.
It's a very soft but very strong energy.
That's a good way of
Very, very
describing
strong,
it. Yeah.
I don't know why I'm thinking of this, but is this energy applicable to animals that are gestating?
I mean, they can't repeat the rite, but I'm sure vibrationally they can feel the healing. I mean, I do Reiki energy work on
with everything.
yeah, anything.
I think you can
Plants
use it
and-
on rocks.
Sure, sure.
Can. Crystals get fractured.
Well, the thing
That's
is,
very true, actually.
it's
That's
more of
very
a
true.
shaman energy, though, with the Munaki, right? And the 13th
Yes.
was more shamanic. So it's not traditionally like the Reiki systems, but it still can pass on the vibrations of it. It's set up a little bit differently, though, but it's the same idea.
Why I laughed is because I'm getting ready to start mining rocks down in Connecticut, cracking them apart.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it's just,
So there's reasons for everything, though, right? Yeah.
Very true.
After you've done a few days worth of that, it won't be so funny.
I just get
It's
a bigger
hard
machine.
work.
Yeah, but you can still get sore from that, though.
I just get a bigger machine.
Okay.
Just make sure to ask if this is
You
something
know
you
what?
could take
You're
from
right.
the
I
land.
will.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's the honoring of it. Is this something I'm meant to take? And then if it is, then blessings, right? Then it'll
Yeah,
crack open easily, and
It's
it'll
a
be.
unique rock it's Connecticut bluestone schist. It's a blue crystalline stone with white stripes through it.
Oh wow.
No, I never seen a stone like that.
Nice counters.
Yeah.
They make walls out of it and patios and stuff.
So you do also shamanic work outside of the rites as well?
Yes, and
Okay.
I would say I don't. I mean, I'm a mesa carrying shaman, practicing.
You're a
and
what?
I never like to say I am. I'm working away from the I ams, right?
Yeah.
But I practice shamanism, and I carry a mesa, which is basically a medicine bag, and I have very specific stones that I've selected that represent different things.
I'll have to get you one of my stones, then you can tell me what it's for.
And
Well,
an
it's a
altar
little different than that, but yeah. It's a little different than that. It's very personal.
Yes,
The
it's something
medicine.
that I literally keep under my pillow, and I carry with me, and I can do healings. But even the shaman that I've worked with, she's like, you have all of that within you, and we have these tools that we can use. But remember, still, it is all still within you.
How did you start learning this, by the way?
Oh gosh.
On this path, I should say.
So.
A
think-
relearning.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. I started I think basically when I was just a child, just the way I felt energy, and not really ever wanting to be in conversations that didn't resonate with me, and kind of just finding my way, bumping along, and going into things like martial arts or taekwondo or tai chi. Finding people that had energy work, and this is Reiki. Oh, okay. No, it's not the right time. It's not the right time. Finally, I said it's the right time. I looked at acupuncture. Like, I just kept exploring, like, what is it that's going to express what I feel on the inside? Because it was so hard to just put a finger on it. Like, what is it that I'm meant to do?
Where were we? I couldn't quite hear where you said you were originally from.
Connecticut.
Whereabouts?
I was born in Bridgeport.
Okay, down Southern City type
Southern,
stuff.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then when I was 7, we moved to California. So I lived in Southern California for many years as well. And then Europe and just all over. Definitely a gypsy. Definitely a gypsy.
Now, you mentioned before the show something that really interested me. You have a connection to a dragon.
Ah, yes. Yes. Actually many, but.
And what's the significance of that particular dragon? Because you had asked what color, about the colors of it, so I don't know what. I know they come red, I don't know too much else about them.
There are different thoughts about dragons. So there are thoughts that they're otherworldly, that they're from Mu, Lemuria.
They're from another planet.
Exactly.
They are.
Yes, definitely. That they carry such a they carry all of the elements, right? They carry the fire, they carry the air, all of it, and it's really just exceptional. The dragon energy is it's so alive in me, but I didn't awaken that dragon until fairly recently, about a year or
Can
two
you give us
ago.
a definition of dragon energy? It doesn't mean too much to me.
Think about like how it feels to me on my inside is it's this intense building of energy in a very quick amount of time, and it can blast out. It's just like this insurgent of energy that's almost like a fire, an energetic fire.
Yeah, it's
So
almost
You just
like
don't want to be in the other side of that, just so you
way
know.
for you to focus your healing energies using the vibrational effect of the way a dragon would do its thing with
Also
exhaling
fly.
energy.
Also fly.
I'm getting its
Yeah.
purpose in doing that is purifying things.
Yes.
purifying.
healing
Okay.
Transmuting the energy. It's a very quick burn. I've even thrown my, energetic self into the fire. I've thrown myself into the fire. And
You ever do
felt
firewalks?
I haven't, but I'm up for it. I'll do
They're
it.
neat.
I'll do it.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
They're neat.
I've never done myself though either, though, to be honest with you.
I've done a lot of them.
Yeah.
And the reason I mentioned colors is because, you can also look at tying, there's so many things to tie in. I look at tying in the colors of the shamanic medicine wheel, right? North, south, east, west, the different energies that each of those directions bring. But the color also can represent archangels. So Michael, fire, blue, sword, right? And
Okay, yep.
you can look at it that way. My dragon happens to be blue primarily, and I really resonate with fire, and I really resonate with clearing and cleaning and transmuting that energy very quickly. You want to do work with me, it's kind of like we're not going to dilly-dally. We're going to go boom right in and make something happen.
Do you work
Shift.
with any of the Kundalini energy? Because I know it's similar to the dragon. Okay.
It's a very good point.
Okay.
Yeah. It's very similar. Now we all have that Kundalini energy, and no matter what color the dragon is, they all have that type. But they all have almost like a Munaki, right, specialty, right? One might be a seer, one might be a protector. There's different pieces.
Now, we meet so many people, I forget what you do. But are you mediumistic?
No,
What
I'm clairaudient.
What I'm leading up to is, do you communicate with your dragons?
I honestly cannot say who is communicating with me. It may be a multitude,
Okay.
right?
But not
When I feel the
specifically.
energy, I know it's the energy of the dragon, and I know what is coming in that message of the energy, right? That is,
Okay.
I guess, in its sense, a form of communication.
Yeah,
Well,
the
it's
feelings.
intuitive.
Yes, it's intuitive. It's all inner knowing. It truly is. When I do my energy work, I call them mic drop moments. It's just like, I usually leave my clients not in a bad way, but in a profound way, crying, because I know that sounds horrible, but because they've had like the things that come to me, I might ask Archangel Gabriel for any messages or information that needs to come through. And there's just something that comes. And I say, are you open to me sharing that? And I do. And they're just like, what? And it's such a beautiful, profound healing for them in that awareness. It may be something about a loved one that had passed. It may be something so random as, Galinda the Good Witch, just like coming out of it. Like, I can't even make this stuff up, but it's so spot on to exactly what is happening. So I don't know if it's their energy telling me, like the higher self. I haven't figured that part out. And honestly, in a way, I
You
don't
haven't
mind
needed
knowing.
to figure it out, you just use it.
Exactly. I don't need to have all those answers.
You trust
I just
it.
need to be receptive and in such gratitude.
Okay. Somebody out there wants to know how to get in touch with you. How do we get in touch with you?
Well, you can go to 13moonharmony.com.
13moonharmony.com.
The number 13, moonharmony.com.
And where are you actually physically located?
In Barrington, Rhode Island, and do work at Butler campus and also at Nature's the Rock Shop, as well as
Wait a minute, what rock shop?
Nature's the Rock Shop.
Nancy's.
In Tiverton.
Yeah, Nancy's in Tiverton.
Oh, okay.
We have
I've
a
been
healing
I
room
know.
there.
I'm friends with them.
And then also work at Duncan Lodge for any Care New England employees or their families.
What's a Duncan Lodge?
Duncan Lodge is the old President's building on the Butler campus off Blackstone Boulevard. It's
Don't know it.
Yeah, so it's a beautiful building from 1888. I have this room upstairs. It's magic in this old building that has really great energy, because we've made friends with any entities there, right? Because we bring a lot of healing work, and it's really a wonderful offering
Now-
to work for Care New England like that.
What does Butler call your work?
Reiki energy healing, yeah.
It falls under like the alternative therapies or
does.
holistic therapy. A lot of hospitals will call it under that umbrella.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
exactly.
modern medicine, I guess you would say, isn't overly open to.
They're becoming
They're-
more and
yeah.
more.
Recently, there's been
They're
more
seeing more.
Yeah.
I
Of the
tried to
results.
volunteer one time at the Ronald McDonald House, and they say, "Oh, you don't have a license for it. You don't have the license for that." I've never heard of a license for spiritual healing, so I was a little confused by it. But
Yeah, they must have been in the earlier days.
Yeah.
There's
well,
more and more places that have
5
been
years ago,
open.
maybe 10 years ago, I don't remember.
I know that some people are looking at the government is looking at regulatory restrictions over different healing modalities. Like in Massachusetts, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's like, how do you measure that?
Yeah.
How do you honestly measure that?
Well, they have done scientific tests and measured when you're sending energy, how much energy is transmitted.
That's very true. But in terms of, I think the thing that helps me to offer even more to my clients is all the personal work I do. It's seeing the things within me. I don't call them the dark night of the soul. The soul is pure. I call it the dark night of the ego. So as soon as I start working through that and really facing the things that most people brush under the carpet or never want to admit,
Now,
that is when the energy can channel through me.
What I
in
get
a
out
more
of just
profound
this
way.
short conversation we've had with you is that when you're working with people, you're working with multiple modalities.
Absolutely, thank you. And that's why I don't call myself I am this or I am that. I bring all of this, whatever it is that needs to come.
It's
it needs to
fun.
be addressed. It's amazing. It's so joyful.
I saw something on a news feed, and I didn't look into it, but they're saying that there's another intelligence beside the clairaudient and clairvoyant. It's an interoceptor. It's the ability to look within oneself and clear away the garbage.
Yes, that's so true.
The mess is the way to put it.
So all you got to do is convince everybody that's watching this show to change their mentality and look within themselves
That's what it comes down to. Yeah.
and kind
lot
of
of the-
heal themselves.
Well, now, if you look within, my friend over there at the camera knows about making lemonade. If you look within, you will find that every single challenge you have is that getting sent the lemonade and trying to figure out, getting sent lemons, trying to figure out how to make lemonade out of it. And you get good at it. You can make Thai lemonade. You can.
All the different flavors to it.
Yes.
Yes, true. I look at, for me, the number one thing, I look at it as a trilogy, right? Awareness is the number one thing. If I have awareness in the present moment, then I'm able to change anything that I want to change.
Within
if I
yourself
don't
or within other people?
Within myself, always. The only way I can ever influence anyone is through the work that I do myself. Other than that, I'm just telling them to do something, whether I've done it or not. But me as an example of what I'm able to do within myself, that speaks even more volume than I could ever imagine.
Yeah, because I've learned that the more we work within ourselves, the more we can actually help other people that way.
Yes, because it emanates, and it's like this radiance that comes out. You know, you met Crystal, she's full of grace.
Yes.
She really is. And that just precedes her in the room, you know, and I think that goes a long way. Really does.
And she's had challenges.
Oh, has she? She really has.
I know.
And it's what you do with them and having that awareness. And trust me, I stumble and fall. often, but I'm willing to continue to work at that one piece and surrender and forgive. That's the trilogy: awareness, surrender, and forgive. That's my personal trilogy.
Now, have you ever done on yourself past life work?
Yes, I have.
And you were a medicine woman? And what
I
culture?
was many things.
Well,
But yes, there was
you know,
always
we've had
there was
thousands
always
of
a
lives, but-
no, but there was always a significant thread of royalty, where I totally screwed it up and got killed, and then I also was actually in animal form. I was an orangutan leader, but they were always kind of in that place of healing. There's always healing opportunities and gifts. And one, I completely blew it, and I had to work through all of that shame. And another, I remember seeing my arm pointing up to the stars, knowing that that was where I came from just before that incarnation. So there's a lot of really fascinating things.
but Eskimo?
Probably. I've only, you work through them, right? And sometimes you have to go back and do more healing.
Well,
but
the
they keep
older the
opening.
soul, we've done everything.
Yeah.
So, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've looked at a lot of things.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
basically everybody has got very, very old souls.
More
Because-
and more of the people
More.
here now.
Yeah.
Because-
Still younger
Older
souls.
souls.
There's still a lot of younger
they,
souls.
They
though.
might younger maybe for this planet, but they all kind of formed at the same time as the system. The Big Bang, we were that little spark of divinity within. That little spark
The
of
original
divinity
creation,
makes
yeah.
up the big spark, which is God.
Yeah.
But so talking for myself, very old. What can I say? And I believe everybody is.
We all have a healer within us.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
part of my work is to really bring that within them out.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
best way I can do that is with my work within myself.
Now, when you go down to South America to deal with the native shamans down there, do they kind of accept what you do? You're an outsider, but you're
Yes.
trying to learn their basics.
I think it all is depend on the approach I take when I meet them, and how open I am to receiving, and how open they are to offering. And they really are, and they know without me saying a thing what I have going on. Trust me.
Yeah, well, they can
And I don't
see
need
you.
to say anything. I just show up, and they know what they need to do and what they're meant to do with me. And I don't even need to. I just need to be there. I need to be present and open.
The old in our old West, when the Native American Indian shamans would say to the white man, "I can see you," they couldn't quite understand what he was saying, but what they're
Exactly.
saying is what you're describing.
Yeah.
That's it.
They could see you.
Now,
Yeah.
do you find with your work, are you guided to use herbs and medicines or crystals mostly?
I do use crystals if I'm called to that. I do use my rattle. I use a drum if I need to do a guided meditation. I also am I am Yoga Nidra, which is integrated Amrit method. It's a yogic guided meditation practice
Yes.
that I learned through a guru down in Florida, Yogi Desai, and his daughter. And so I do a lot of different things. I might guide them in if they're kind of stressed or having a challenge of getting into a calmer state. But no, it's really
Yeah, you
beautiful
do
work.
that regularly every week.
I do.
So when you're meeting somebody, do you see them and do you see what they need, or are you just kind of hitting with a shotgun until something pops out?
I don't know about the shotgun.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just a
No,
general.
I think I'm always in a place of observation and witnessing, right? Because it also depends on what they're allowing me to see. If they come and they're completely open, then they're going to allow me to kind of feel into what is most relevant or what is most needed. And honestly, the energy that flows through me goes exactly where it's needed to go anyways. Even if I say I need to work on his left knee, the energy might go, no, the heart is the most important place right now.
I have to interrupt you because we've been flying through this. I can't call it an interview, this awareness session that is it makes me want to do more work on myself.
Okay. Really quick, tell people how to find you again.
13moonharmony.com. The number
Say it
13.
louder.
13moonharmony.com. And you will find Crystal there as well.
Yes.
So you found both of us. Crystal
Crystal
Birch,
Birch.
who was here in one of your
I don't
other
think
episodes.
you would.